Hello, welcome back to my training room, and welcome back to Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger. The date is Saturday, August 1st, 2020. I get asked this question all the time. Why do you claim to be a self-defense instructor rather than a martial art instructor? What is the difference? Isn't martial art self-defense, or isn't self-defense just basically martial art? Technically, technically speaking, self-defense is not a thing. It is a marketing term, it is a commercial term, and it is a legal term. But it is not something that you go and become a master of. Self-defense is like mixed martial art. Technically speaking, mixed martial art is not a thing either. Not like nowadays you see someone go like, they do the kickboxing and then they do the jiu-jitsu and they call that mixed martial art, which yeah it is. Yeah, you're mixing jiu-jitsu with kickboxing or boxing. But a person can simply mix yoga with taekwondo, with aikido, and still claim that is mixed martial art, and you can't say they're wrong. Now, whether it's effective or not, that's a different question. But mixed martial art basically just means a bunch of martial art moves mixed together. So self-defense basically means we take what works in different martial arts, in different systems, and put them together to give you a condensed version of training. Our focus is your survival, our survival. We teach you the practical stuff. We don't worry about spirituality. We don't worry about the history. We don't worry about all the fancy footwork and dancing around and high flying kick and stuff like that. We teach you what works, and we make sure that you can walk out there and defend yourself and your family. So when you train with me, when you train to do what I do, you don't worry about a belt. You don't worry about playing nice. You don't worry about looking fancy. Your goal for training is self-defense. It's survival. It's protection. That is really the biggest difference between self-defense and martial arts. In the last few years, I come to see and hear and uh, witness more and more people say things like Krav Maga doesn't work because I saw a video of this Krav Maga guy fighting this kickboxing guy, and the kickboxing guy owned him. Aikido doesn't work because I saw this video of Aikido versus Taekwondo, and the Taekwondo guy owned the Aikido guy. Wing Chun doesn't work because I watched a video of an MMA fighter fighting a Wing Chun guy, and the MMA guy beat him to a pulp. All these self-defense style, they don't work because when you throw them against an MMA guy, you put them in the ring against a Muay Thai fighter, they can't seem to defend themselves. So what good are they if they don't work in the ring? With the next 3 or 4 self-defense videos, Survival Saturday and Tactical Tuesday, I aim to address. I'm not going to say I'm here to give you all the answers, but I aim to address some of these questions, some of these concerns, to make you see just how preposterous it is to make that conclusion that something doesn't work because they don't match up against a Muay Thai fighter or MMA fighter. Because if that is the case, you might as well say special forces don't work, police officers don't work. Because you know what? If you throw a special forces Navy SEAL or police force personnel in that ring, put the gloves on their hand, take their tools away from them, most likely they are going to lose too. I remember watching this episode of, I believe it was Human Weapons, uh, and the host asked one of the United States Marine sergeant, if you were to get in a ring, if you were to fight Anderson Silva, who do you think would win? And the Marine sergeant was very honest. He said, "Well, let me put it this way: if you put me in there in the ring doing MMA against Anderson Silva, he would kick my butt. But if you take him out of there and put him in the jungle, and I would kill him so dead he wouldn't even know what hit him." That is what we are here to really talk about. Today we want to talk about mindset. What's the difference between martial art and self-defense? I have um, five most important don'ts in self-defense mindset that you can, well, keep in your mind. Five self-defense mindset of things we just don't do. We shouldn't do. We don't want to do them. Number one, and this is very, very important. Don't accept challenges. The minute you accept the challenge, you already failed your self-defense. Big guy, here, coming up to me. Hey, you want to show me how good you are? I hear you're some kind of fighter. You want to fight me? I would say, oh no man, no man, no, I don't want to fight you. No man, don't listen to them. I don't know what I'm doing. Am I telling the truth? No. Do I think that if it comes down to it, if it comes down to him versus me, I can clean his cloth? Well, sure. But do I want to find out? No. Because the whole point of self-defense is to stay out of trouble. The minute I put myself at risk, the minute I put myself in danger, I have failed my training. I turn into a hypocrite. I am here teaching students to protect themselves, but I go and accept the challenge. So, self-defense mindset. We don't worry about answering challenge. We don't want to answer challenge. Someone come up to you, ask you, do you think your Aikido can beat my Taekwondo? No, no, no. Your Taekwondo is awesome. I don't think I can beat you. Let's go have some dinner, and you can tell me more about your Taekwondo. Someone come up to you. Do you think my Jiu-Jitsu can beat your Krav Maga? Oh yeah, sure. I mean, Jiu-Jitsu is awesome. Why don't you show me a few Jiu-Jitsu moves and teach me something? Don't answer that challenge. It's unnecessary and it's against the core of self-defense. Now, I want to be very clear on that. That doesn't mean that just because you do Krav Maga or Aikido, you can't jump in there and spar and have fun with the Muay Thai guy. But what I'm saying is, don't get in there because you have something to prove. Don't get in there because you have a chip on your shoulder and you want to prove that you are self-defense expert, your Krav Maga is going to beat their stuff. The minute you decide to get in there, you already failed your self-defense. So from this point on, it's on you. got nothing to do with if your stuff work anymore. Because if you said no, if you don't answer the challenge, your stuff work. But if you don't worry about that, if you're not worried about that, then hey, get in there, have a jiu-jitsu match, have a taekwondo match, we can have some fun, whatever. Point number two, don't try to win. No matter if it's inspiring, no matter if it's out there in a real situation, winning, losing is not in it. It shouldn't even be in your head. Don't worry about winning. Don't think about winning. Your whole point of learning self-defense is not to win, but to survive. So how does that make a difference in our approach to uh, 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 combat versus standard martial arts people? If I am grappling with a guy, right? If I'm grappling with a guy or fighting with a guy, sparring, whatever. If I am going by the mindset of a martial artist, my goal is to knock him down and then stand around, see if he'll get up, back up again, and then knock him down again or get him in a submission to get him to tap out. I have to think about how to win. If my whole goal is to survive, I don't have to worry about how to win. Then no, I have to. My job becomes a lot easier. I just have to stay out of reach. I just stay out of his way. I just keep moving around and occasionally trip him, occasionally kick him on the knee, or when I grab a hold of him and I'm just going to smash his head into the ground, right? If I knock him down, am I going to stand around wait for him to get back up? No. I knock him down. I'm going to jump and stomp down on his leg, his arm, whatever. I can stomp and break, right? I'm not going to worry about winning. My whole goal is to get home safe by the end of the day. Number three, this one is also very, very important, and this is one of the biggest reasons why we see Krav Maga guy, Aikido guy, Wing Chun guy getting owned there in the cage, in the ring. Number three, things that you don't do, something to keep in our mindset is don't play their game. Don't play by their rule. That is not self-defense. That is sport fighting. And if you spend the last 3 years training in Krav Maga rather than sport fighting, you are not going to be able to hold up against them playing by their rule. If Mike Tyson, for example, come up to me and want to get in a fight with me, well, first of all, I would say no, man. I admire you. I want your autograph. I don't want to fight you. But let's say Mike Tyson really provokes me, really does something to force me to fight him. Am I going to get in there, strap on a pair of boxing gloves, and see if I can beat him? No, that would be suicide. If Mike Tyson or someone like that trying to get me into a fight and I can't avoid the fight, I'm going to go in there first. I'm not going to worry about winning. Rule number two, don't worry about winning. And rule number three, I'm not going to even worry about playing it by their rule. They want to fight, I'm going to tell them, okay, you're a boxer. I'm not. I'm Krav Maga. You do it by your way, I do it my way. Okay? And my way means no gloves. Okay? No problem with throat punch or kidney shot or poke in the eye or groin shot. Okay? You stick by your boxing rule. That's what you do. I go by my rule, and we see what happens by the end of the day, right? Don't play it their way. And that leads to our rule mindset. Mindset number 4. Don't be caught without an equalizer. What is an equalizer? We talked about that before. An equalizer can be a steel tipped pen. An equalizer can be that chair in the corner. An equalizer can be that dumbbell here in the corner. The equalizer can be that sword behind me on the wall. The equalizer can be this knife in my pocket, right? Tool. If human beings were meant to go out there and battle saber-toothed tiger or saber-toothed cat, sorry, um, and mammoth and cave lion, if we were meant to be that badass barehanded, then we wouldn't have been blessed with the ability to create tools. Okay? And tools is the essential part of self-defense. Again, someone like Mike Tyson come up to me and trying to get me into a fight, I'm going to try to avoid it. I'm going to say no. But if I get pushed into it, I'm not going to worry about winning. I'm not going to play by his rule, and I'm not going to be without my trusty knife or anything else I can get my hand on. In fact, when I explain to him how I when I say, okay, let's do this, but you go by your rule, I go by my rule, which means if at any time I whip out this knife and slash you across the face or stab you in the torso, this is over. Okay? Even if it's a training knife, I get you in a vital spot, it's over. Now, if you, meaning the other fighter, if you don't respect this, if I slash you across the chest or stab you in the armpit with a training knife, and you continue to assault me, then I'm sorry. Next time I get a chance, I will jam this all the way into your eye. Okay? So, never get caught without a tool. Don't be without an equalizer. An equalizer doesn't have to be fatal, okay? If someone was to get me in a jiu-jitsu hold, headlock or whatever, let's just go with a headlock, right? And when I want to stand here and try to jiu-jitsu out of it, well, I might in the beginning, but if he's like a really high-ranking jiu-jitsu guy, he really knows his stuff, it would be foolish for me to think that I can outmaneuver him in this way. So in this case, rather than trying to wiggle out of it, break his arm lock, I would take my equalizer out of my pocket and jam it into the back of his hand. He would let go, and I come around, whip it into the side of his face, and then back away. That is self-defense. That is the difference between self-defense and martial art. And that very conveniently lead us to point number 5. Mindset number 5. Don't play. Don't play. What do I mean by don't play? When martial artists fight, they do a lot of jabbing, moving around, and try to take a kick and then move out of the way. Martial art, especially MMA and boxer, sports fighters, they train to have great stamina. They train to take a lot of punishment. They train to go 3-minute, 5-minute rounds for 15 rounds. Self-defense, Even though in Krav Maga we are very, very, very conditioned to go like forever, but we do not want to stay there and play that game. Don't play game. If I can find a chance to put the person down with one movement, if I can put the person down with one finger, not that I could, but if I could, I would do it. I'm not interested in standing here and see if my punch is harder than yours, or your headlock is tighter than mine, or my kick is stronger than yours. I'm not interested in that. My whole point is self-defense, is keep myself safe. The longer we dance around, the bigger of a chance me getting hurt. And I don't like that. So, quick recap. Mindset in self-defense that is different from martial arts. Don't answer challenge. Don't try to win. Don't play by their rule. Don't be caught without an equalizer of some kind. And don't play game. Thank you for checking out this week's Survival Saturday. We'll continue this talk on Tuesday when we come back for Tactical Tuesday. And I will see you guys again tomorrow for Soul Search Sunday. For now, stay safe and have a good night.